It's now official Daniel Ricciardo is leaving Racing Bulls effective immediately, meaning he won't be competing in the next race in Austin. This news isn't exactly a shock since you might have noticed it during the race weekend. However, the team confirmed it in a press release on Thursday evening. They expressed their gratitude for his dedicated service. Actually, everyone thought this was coming even before the weekend. The decision was already made before the Singapore race weekend, so the Australian driver wasn't caught off guard. There were various reasons why the announcement wasn't made sooner, and they had plenty to figure out first. Knowing all this, Daniel made the most of his final race weekend in Singapore, savouring each moment. He took his time climbing out of the car one last time, clearly emotional as the reality of his departure set in. There wasn't much debate about it. Everyone knew this was his final Formula One race. At this point, it wasn't about anything critical, so he was given the green light to go all out, even with an extra pit stop to go after the fastest lap, which he took from Lando Norris. The reason Daniel Ricciardo is giving up his seat is pretty straightforward. During the summer break, there were talks between Daniel and Sergio Perez about their futures. Both drivers were on edge about their positions. They were told they had 4 races up until the autumn break to prove their worth. Perez managed to step up his game, showing he still has room for improvement and better results ahead. The Australian was still waiting for his big moment. People doubted he could meet the expectations that came with his return to the Red Bull team. His dream was a full comeback to Red Bull racing. It was mentioned that the Racing Bulls were just a junior team. This meant he had to step aside for Liam Lawson for the second time in his career. Liam Lawson, a 22-year-old from New Zealand, has been part of the Red Bull junior team since 2019. You might remember him from Formula 2. That's the typical path for a junior driver, even though he didn't have huge success there. Over 2 seasons, in 2021 and 2022, he finished 9th and 3rd overall. However, many forget that he also took a unique turn by competing in the DTM. There, he became the vice champion in the very dramatic 2021 finale at the Nürburgring. Some of you might recall that back in 2023, he competed in the Super Formula, a popular Japanese racing series that's well regarded in the Formula One community. He even secured the position of vice champion there, showing everyone that he's got what it takes to make a mark in Formula One. Last year, Daniel Ricciardo made a comeback with the Racing Bulls, but unfortunately he quickly injured his wrist. That's when Liam Lawson stepped in to fill his shoes. Liam raced in 5 events, and his best moment was scoring 2 points in Singapore. He's a different kind of racer, well prepared and already having passed several tests. Next week, Liam Lawson will participate in a TPCC test at Mugello. He's been announced as Ricciardo's replacement for the rest of the season, but what about 2025? The future certainly seems exciting. Yuki Tsunoda has secured his spot with the Racing Bulls, but the second seat is still up for grabs. If Liam Lawson performs well, he's likely to keep his place with the team. However, the situation is far from stable and anything could happen. Sergio Perez, while still on the team, has been delivering in terms of performance, but not necessarily in results. There's plenty more expected from him. The debate over whether Liam Lawson or Yuki Tsunoda will clinch that spot is still very much alive, with many questions hanging in the air. Should Lawson falter and Perez shines, Lawson might find his position in 2025. The competition is fierce within the Red Bull Youth Programme, featuring talents like Isaac Haycar, who has just finished his 2nd season in Formula 2 as the runner-up to Gabriel Bortoleto, is also a promising contender. Clearly, there's still much to unfold as we move towards 2025. Looking ahead for the Racing Bulls and Red Bull Racing, let's talk about Daniel Ricciardo. At 35, Daniel himself admits he feels the strain a bit. He's no longer the youngest driver on the Formula One circuit, and it's showing. While his speed remains impressive, maintaining that high performance consistently is becoming more challenging. The Australian driver also acknowledged the new generation of drivers who have access to resources and opportunities he didn't have when he started. This made it sound like he might be nearing the end of his career. It was clear that he didn't rejoin the Racing Bulls just to pick up a few random points here and there. Ricciardo's goal was to fight for podiums and victories. However, his return to Red Bull Racing didn't go as planned, so it seems pretty clear that this was likely his final Formula One race, marking the conclusion of his career in this thrilling sport. With 8 race victories under his belt, there's certainly no reason for him to hang his head. Impressively, 7 of those wins were achieved while racing with the Red Bull family. Out of his 257 Formula One races, 165 were spent with them. Here's a fun fact: he's actually raced for every Red Bull team out there. That includes Toro Rosso, Red Bull Racing, AlphaTauri, and currently the Racing Bulls. This surely shows just how deeply connected he is to Red Bull. Now, the big question is, will he stay with the Red Bull family, perhaps as a brand ambassador? He's still mulling it over and hasn't made a decision yet. As for venturing into other racing series, it's hard to envision him completely transitioning. However, he has hinted at considering it. Stay tuned, because whatever he decides, it's bound to keep both fans and the racing world on their toes. He didn't seem to be paying much attention, almost like he was more interested in IndyCar or something else. It's a pity, really. We would love to see him, even if just for a short while. He's famous everywhere, not just in Formula One, thanks to his charming smile. That's why he'd be a perfect brand ambassador for Red Bull Racing. The story is still unfolding, so we can look forward to what Daniel Ricciardo has in store for us next. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, subscribe to the channel and leave a comment below. See you in the next video.